Hi there everyone, it's Bren here and thanks for joining me again on this week's garden update. Well, we're actually into winter now and that's why I've got this big woolly jumper on because it's been quite chilly this week, particularly in early mornings when I go and open up the chickens. Even this morning I noticed very light frost on the ground, which does get me a bit nervous because I haven't actually dug up all of those plants that I want to overwinter in the greenhouse, so I'll have to make it a priority this weekend for sure. Well, in this week's garden update, even though we are into winter, I will be doing a fairly large garden harvest. I'll be showing you an area that looks quite different now compared to last week, and there are a few new additions to the garden. One item which I've upcycled, which I'm really super excited to show you, and then also I'll have a look at some spring bulbs that I've just planted up. I bought a few packets of bulbs this week for an absolute bargain. Some of the bulbs I've never tried before, so I'm really excited to see how they grow in my area and what they look like in springtime. So let's get straight into the video now. So just sit back and relax for a few minutes and I'll show you around. I've just grabbed a little box, some water to put some flowers in, and I've got a scissors in there, so I'm going to grab that now. It's just underneath the orange tree. I will be coming back here to the orange tree a little bit later on in the video where I'll be picking some of these delicious fruit. Such a lovely day today. Beautiful clear skies, perfect day to show you around the garden. And do you see, I actually finally put the cover on the greenhouse. It's taken me a couple of weeks, but I got there, and I do have a little issue with it. I have a few rips in the front section that I'm gonna need to figure out what to do. You can see one there and there's some on the other side as well. I'm gonna have to try and fix that up. I was thinking, do you think maybe bubble wrap would work to put along the front? Not quite sure what to do there. And if I swing around here, I wanted to show you this section as well. I've absolutely cleared it out. I'd mentioned I was going to do it before, but I got the mower and I cleared out this area and it's now all ready for planting up. And I moved my rusty old wheelbarrow that's falling apart here, and this is the dahlia patch that's been really heavily mulched, and I put the wheelbarrow there as a little feature. I had mentioned before maybe putting some plants in between the dahlia tubers, but for the moment I'm just going to leave it like that, I think. Okay, let's go and harvest our first plant. I have this Gramma pumpkin that needs to be harvested now. It's got so big. I'm actually really surprised that this archway has managed to hold it up. And there is another one around this area. These are all my Cucamelons. I'm going to pick them off now as well. But I wanted to show you the other pumpkin, which is down here. This one's probably equally as large, I reckon. There it is in there. So I'm going to go and get the snippers and cut them both off. I'm going to try and snip this off. Oh, I can't do it with one hand. Just give me a second, I'll put the camera down. Oh, that's a real beauty. Look at the size of it. Let's go and harvest the other one. Oh, this one looks just as big. Let's see if I can just snip this off up here with my scissors. I'll try and do it now. Oh, it's so overgrown here. There's so much grass. Oh, that came off much easier. Wow, I've got two of them now. I did have another one, but the kids accidentally knocked it off. I want to just see what they look like side by side. Oh yeah, they're about the same size. Got some lovely calendula flowers around the garden. I think I'll pick a few of these off here as well. I've got these lovely yellow ones, and I noticed over here there's some very nice orange ones too. Okay, I'll pop them into the vase. Next up, I'm going to pick all of these little Cucamelons that have made their way across from the fence, which is just here where I planted 4 of them, all the way over here onto my lime tree. And you can see there's one of my limes, some Cucamelons intermingled around it. So I'm going to pick off as many of these as I can right now, because it is getting too cold for them now. I don't think they're going to produce anymore, and I want to see if I can cut back the vine and try and get it to overwinter, so in springtime it might sprout back up. I don't know if it's going to happen. I've no experience with these, but I want to give it a go. I've got nothing to lose. So it looks like I'm going to get a decent amount. So what I'll probably do is I might pickle a lot of these, and I will save a few for seeds for next year as well, if the ones that are overwintered don't work out. That's the last lot there. I got quite a few. Probably not as much as I was expecting to get, but my family's pretty sick of eating these now. You know what it's like towards the end of summer, early winter. When you've had so much of something, you just kind of get a bit fed up with it. So what I'll do is I'll pickle these, and maybe in a couple of months they will want to try them again, and we'll still have some to eat in pickled form. Okay, so I'll put this over here with everything else, and the next thing I'm going to pull out is the Kiwanos vine. I'm going to pull that out now. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put the camera down, and I'm just going to rip out this whole vine here now and see what's there. So I pulled it all off there now, and I did find a few at the bottom here. Look at the size of this one. It was just lying there on the ground. That's probably the biggest one, but unfortunately it's not the ripest one, so I'm not sure how that one's going to taste. Pop that in there. And there's another one here. This one looks a lot better. If you have a look at this, I'll compare them to each other. Oh, this one's still attached to the vine. See the way that one's much yellower and that one's more green. A couple of more in here. And there we go. And here's the vine here. There's quite a few on there as well. I'll pick all them off. So I've just picked off this lot here. There's quite a few there. Now there are some other ones that are on the vine, but these are way too small. See that? It's really tiny. So I'm just going to put all of them straight into the compost pile. Like here's another one here. There's no way I'm going to be able to eat that. I'll probably have to go to emergency with all those spikes. I've come over to the orange tree, and I'll pick a few oranges off. And underneath this tree I planted some nasturtiums, and the flowers are just so pretty. These are edible flowers, so you can eat the flowers and the leaves. They have a bit of a spicy taste to them. Oh, there's an orange that fell down. I'll grab this one. Oh, let me have a look. Do you know what that's from? That's from the birds. They sometimes come and take the oranges off the top of the tree. Oh yeah, look over here. That's it. Giveaway that they've been here, the cockatoos. But thankfully, as I mentioned before, nearly every garden in my area has an orange tree. So they're spoiled for choice, and it means that they don't pick everything off my one. So I'm not actually too worried about this. Here's one here. Whoops. Pick this one off. And that's the first one, and I won't pick too many today, but I was actually thinking of doing a separate little video, maybe just a couple of minutes, just where I feature the orange tree, because I know a lot of you like it, and I think it deserves to get its own little video. So if you think that's a good idea, I would love if you would just let me know in the comments. How lovely are they? I'm over where the raised beds are now, and I'm going to pick some of this red mustard green and some Russian red kale. the Mexican sage is still going strongly, and this perennial basil as well. You can see the bees are still enjoying being here. Okay, so this is the Russian red kale. I can usually just snap it off like this. In this bed here I have some silver beet, or sorry, rainbow chard. This has got the red stem here. Get a couple of them. And this one over here has got a really nice pink hue to the stem. I'll show you now. It's lovely. So there's a nice little bouquet of edible greens. I love the veining on the red chard, it's gorgeous. And the Russian red kale, actually they're all really pretty, aren't they? Got some more yellow calendula in here. And I mentioned at the beginning that I bought some bulbs, and I had some spare ones and I ran out of potting mix, so I decided I put some bulbs around here. So I think these are snowdrops, and I've got bluebells as well. There's some bluebells all along here, and I just decided to put them in there because this area, the soil is so good here. Like, this is where it's been heavily mulched as my pathways, and I wanted to take advantage of having the lovely soil, and I thought putting some little spring bulbs in there would look really pretty. Okay, I'll put these over here with everything else I've harvested, and I'll go and show you the rest of those bulbs now. So here's where I potted up some bulbs. There's not really much to look at the moment. I've got some old blue pots that my friend was throwing out, and I used a couple of baskets that I found in my shed, and in here, so I have a mixture of, I do have some tulips down there, you can see on the packet, the kind of pink ones, and then I have in some of the other pots, I have these ones here. They're rather nice. I'll put the name up on the screen. Have these ones here as well, and them, and in this tray here I have some of these gorgeous alliums. I think this area is looking really lovely. Such a big transition from it, the way it looked in the summertime, and the borage is flowering beautifully for the bees. And over here, this is my last dahlia that I haven't cut back yet, so I'm going to pick off all those flowers now and cut it back today. So there's the very last lot of dahlias until next summertime, and I'm going to head now around the front garden, and I want to show you that new garden feature I was speaking about. So here's my new little garden feature. I think I put this in a video a few weeks ago. It may have been this one or some other type of suitcase type thing, but I found this box thrown out on the side of the road for council pickup, which we have twice a year. Yesterday I drilled some holes in the base, and I put these ornamental cabbages in. I think they look really pretty there, and add a nice pop of colour with the foliage rather than with flowers. And the last flowers that I want to pick today are these gorgeous Mexican marigolds, which I've shown you a couple of weeks ago, I think. You can see the bees are absolutely loving it. Okay, so I picked a few stems off that. It probably won't be flowering for too much longer, so I'm going to make the most of it, and it does have an absolute divine smell. Okay, let's go to the back garden again. So that's it for this week, for this week's garden update and garden harvest. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions at all, please put them in the comments below, and I have been thinking about maybe doing one extra video per week in addition to these weekly garden harvests. If you have any suggestions of what type of video you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments. And also I'd love if you go and check out my Instagram account called Gigi the Garden Girl, where I'll be putting a post up of this lovely garden harvest that we did today. Okay, well, until next week, I hope you all have a fantastic week and happy gardening.